Susul. Hey guys, this is Team Cowplant again, and today we are not talking about all things The Sims, but about the founder of all things The Sims, Will Wright. And today I'm going to be talking at you, and my name is Ava.
My name is Marissa.
Hey guys, it's Vanity. Alright, so I guess we're gonna... Oh, we have to set the stage. So, first of all...
Yes,
we're gonna take you back. You ready?
Story time with Vanity.
Wavy screens, like in the 90s, and Saved by the Bell. Flashback. It is now 1989. It is the land of scrunchies and freaking blue eyeshadow, side ponies, double socks, cocaine, if you're into that.
No.
So this is where we're at. 1989. The number one movie is Three Fugitives. The number one song is Two Hearts by Phil Collins. And also, SimCity was released. SimCity, you might ask? What is this? Oh, that is the very first Sims game by old Will Wright. Will Wright.
William Ralph Wright.
William Ralph
Wright. No, Wright.
Okay, but yeah, so he did SimCity, and that was a thing. That was like a freaking game changer. He met with an investor, and he had what he calls the world's most important pizza party, which, I mean, isn't every pizza party important? Come on, guys. Every one of them. I don't care if you're firing me after the party. I don't care. Fire me over melted cheese. And they formed.
Get fired though. Totally worth it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they formed Maxis. Before Maxis was eaten by something else, it was just all by himself being Maxis.
Back before it ended up in the Sarlacc pit of video game publishers. Look, I have issues. We're not going to talk about that now. We're talking about Will Wright.
Ava is disgruntled over there. Yes, so then they made SimCity. And it was a hit, and it was credited as one of the most influential computer games ever freaking made. And if you think about it, 1989, I was 3, y'all. Ava was still cooking.
I was still cooking, yeah.
Marissa, were you born?
1983.
89.
I wasn't. 89. I wasn't even a glimmer in my parents' eye. Were they even married? Yeah, I think they were married. 89. Yeah, they had to have been married.
You were still in pre-production.
Yeah, I don't even think I was an egg that was produced yet in 89.
I'm just toddling around eating snacks. Actually, I was walking by then. Eating snacks and shit. I was a late developer. I was a preemie. We don't talk about that. I'm not kidding. My parents, my dad was like, well, we didn't know if you were going to be okay, in the head. And I was like, what? I was like, what? He was like, yeah. And because all my milestones were delayed because, I was tiny. And so my dad was like, we weren't sure if you were going to be a smart kid. And I was like,
that's such a dad thing, though. That is such a dad thing to say.
What?
They just whip out this knowledge at you, and you're like, wait, this was an actual concern. I had my dad do that so many random times. They'd say oh, we never thought you would get married. It's like, what? Wait, is that real?
Yeah, my dad was he's like, we never thought that you would, we weren't sure if you were going to be able to be quote unquote normal. And I was like, what? I was like, did the doctor tell you this could be a thing, or were you just making it up as you go along? But I got nothing.
My parents decided to have a kid. It was kind of like a now or never moment because my mom was turning 30, and then she was like, look, if you want a kid, just tell me now, because after I turn 30, no way. And my dad was like, yeah, sure. So they tell me this story, and I was just like, oh, so I mean, in the end, it turned out all right. And they just looked at me and were like, oh, could have been worse.
Okay, we're gonna bring this back. And guys, if you're keeping an account, that's tangent number 1.
Yep.
You're fucking welcome.
We should just put we should put a tangent meter on there. Whenever you hear a ding, that's like tangent number.
Oh my God.
That many.
Do you remember that South Park episode whenever they were like, they can say, they could say fuck or something, and so they were saying it over, it had a counter in the corner?
Yeah.
Did anyone else remember that episode?
No.
They had like a counter of how many times they could say, they can like curse or whatever, and then before like they think like I don't know, it was weird. That's what this reminds me of though.
Does anybody watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
I don't watch Dragon Ball Z unabridged, abridged, around the corner, any of them at all.
Because that one has a Krillin owned counter, so whenever one of the characters gets owned, like you see a little counter popping up at the like the bottom of the screen, like ding. It's like okay,
I just feel like, do you remember in Mortal Kombat whenever you would like uppercut somebody and the guy goes whoopsie, like in the corner? I feel like that's a new thing now. It's just like whoopsie. It's tangents.
Yep.
So back to Will Wright. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so Will Wright, we're going to call him WW because Will Wright makes me.
I know, maybe just Will.
Or just Will. Yeah.
Will Wright.
William.
Prince William.
William was born in Baton Rouge. I don't know.
Baton Rouge.
It's not that country. I don't know why I'm saying it that way.
I think it's country.
Baton Rouge,
Louisiana. That's like south, right? Yeah.
It definitely is at the bottom of the United States. It's the boot. That's like south, right? Like it's definitely at the bottom. Like we're like right next to each other here. Yeah. Anyway, so he was born there, and he went to school and like college, and then he was like, "Fuck this noise," and then he left college. So basically, he joins Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and the Zucks, the people who did not finish college, but still made awesome things. So,
which I love that meme that's like, Bill Gates didn't go to college and he's like the richest man or whatever. It's like, yeah, but Bill Gates is like a genius. Like, you not graduating your freaking history associate degree is not going to make you a genius. Like, you know what I mean?
You're now going to be you not getting that bachelor's in poetry is not going to stop your life there, pal. You're still not going to make
you a billionaire.
The bachelor's in poetry wasn't going to help your life either. So either way it goes, you're good to go. Just don't waste your money.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway, somehow I don't think you're going to get to the top of like a multi-billion-dollar company with a degree in 16th century French poetry. Sorry, Susan, but that's just not going to happen.
But anyway, so he went to actually Louisiana State, LSU, if you will. That's the purple ones, right? I think that's the purple ones. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know your crazy American colleges and your colors. I don't. It's confusing.
Same girl.
Saints.
That's professional. This is college.
Okay, that's all I know.
Oh, you're talking about hand egg. Sorry. I forgot that college and hand egg are kind of like this in the same boat. Look, it's not a ball, and you don't kick it with your feet. It's not football.
Hand egger. Oh, that's my new thing for football now.
Oh, you're saying egg-er. Okay, I was very confused as to what being said. Okay.
Like the thing that comes out of a chicken's butt. It's that shape.
Chickens don't poop eggs, Ava. I don't think you know where eggs come from, but not from a butt.
It comes from the bottom. That's all I know.
It comes from their chotch, but whatever.
I think egger is better than pigskin. That creeps me out so much.
Is it made of pigs or leather though? Like, why is it made of made of pigs?
It used to be made out of pigskin, but now it's made out of plastic or whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, so whoopsie! Tangent number 2.
But if you think about it, when did he graduate school? In 84 or whatever, or early 80s?
He didn't even 70s? Graduate. He was hanging out in there, but he didn't finish. So,
well, the fact that he was forward thinking enough to be in the robotics, mechanical engineering, computers department in the late 70s, early 80s, that's really smart. Obviously, this guy was a genius.
Well, yeah, because computers back then were the size of my entire living room. Anyway, so yeah, the first computer game he designed was in 1984 called Raid on Bungling Bay. which was a war shoot 'em up game published by Broderbund, not Broaderband. You're welcome.
But it seems kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like intense. It was where the player controlled a helicopter and it dropped bombs on 6 factories across an island. Like, what? Okay. Just murdering factory people. Nice, very nice.
Hit the floor.
Look, I'm sure they had it coming.
They're evil factory workers. Like, we're going to murder everybody.
So, random interjection corner. So, in so when I was in base training, and anytime they watch any kind of like pro-military thing they show you when you're in basic, whatever, it's always to that, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor. You see like freaking planes like dropping bombs everywhere. It's ridiculous. And I'm not kidding.
It's a real thing. Oh my god.
Yes.
Terrifying.
You see fighter jets flying around, and you see things happening. It's like military. Wah! It's that's how that works. So in my brain, you said like helicopters dropping bombs at 6 factories. All I can see is fly, like bombs everywhere. And I just kind of wonder, do they know their songs are being used for this? It's one of those things you watch it and you're just like, yeah, military. And then you're like, really though? Because you're just so hyped up at that point because it's so loud. And then the video, the screen is so huge. So it's like a huge screen and loud things. And you're just like, oh, all right. Okay.
But hey guys.
Air power, space power.
Fun fact about Broderbund. There were apparently also the same publishers of the Carmen Sandiego.
Oh no! Where in the world is
Carmen
Sandiego? I
love that. I dressed up as Carmen Sandiego for Halloween one time, and anytime I saw a camera, I would hide behind something and do the motion. It was so funny. I was in so many people's photos just in the background. It was so great. And everyone was like, oh my god, wait, because we went to this outdoor event and they posted public Facebook photos of the event, and you would just see me walking in the background or hiding behind a telephone pole. Wait, what the fuck is this girl about? It was so funny.
That is hilarious. So and I fucking love Carmen. Remember there was a game show that came on in the 90s, and it was amazing because you always would win a personal home computer. That was the big thing you'd win at the end if you made it to the end of the game. Because it was the 90s and PCs cost a lot.
Yeah.
Which is really so. SimCity was you had to get it on your PC or your Macintosh. Sorry, not a PC because this is back when Macs were a thing, or your Commodore, so your home video gaming system. Which means that for it to be so successful, who in the hell in the 80s had a fucking Mac? Who had a computer? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people did.
No, I'm saying I know it's just so cool that it was so popular when not every home had computers. These things cost a lot of money.
Yeah, I see what you mean. How did it gain such popularity?
You had to pay a lot of money for those 15 whole megabytes of RAM.
15 megabytes.
But it's just so that for me it's super cool because it was so popular for it to be like that. Yeah. But anywho,
I just to come back on Macintosh, I just think it's hilarious. Did any of you ever see those old TV commercials for Macintosh? You had this whole gray sort of 1984 Big Brother is watching you, everybody uniform kind of a vibe, and then someone comes running in and throws something through the screen where the dictator is giving all the all the orders and shit and just shatters it, and then it's Macintosh because you don't want to be like everybody else or something like that. I can't remember. I just think it's hilarious that they were all about being unique and not following the sheeple and kind of a thing, whereas I have been to the opening of a new Mac store against my will, and all I could see was people standing in line to get the same thing that millions and millions of other people were going to get, just so they could just do the exact same thing with the exact same device.
Irony.
I wanted that Apple, the Apple computer, the little laptop one that was shaped like an apple.
Yes!
You guys remember
You know
that?
the little shell one?
I wanted that so bad. It was different colors and
Yeah.
stuff. And my mom was like, "Whose money do you think we have?" And I was like, "But I'm going to college, Mom." And she was like, "That's unfortunate. You want to take this PC with you?"
Does anybody remember, since we were talking a couple episodes ago about our queen, Hilary Duff, does anybody remember that movie, The Perfect Man, that she was in?
Yes,
she had one of those
do.
laptops, and I just, when I saw it, I was just like, I need one. I need one. Never got one.
That's so funny.
I also wanted one really badly. It's also in Elle Woods gets one, Legally Blonde, as well, and I was like,
oh, yep. That's when I wanted one.
She goes and she purchases it, and she's all like, so she can sit down and take her notes on a computer, and I'm like, because she had her notebook before, and now she's like, I've got a computer. Yes. I'm a real student now.
Yes. I love that
anyway,
great storytelling. Yeah, so Will Wright moved to Sim City, which was released by Maxis February 2nd, 1989. So he pretty much has been in the Sims atmosphere since the inception, which is kind of cool. So obviously he was in like a ton of games, creating a ton of like simulation games, which is pretty cool. He seemed like, or seems, is he still alive?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, right?
He's totally not dead. He is only born.
Right, sorry.
He was literally born in like 1960. He seemed just my dad.
And healthy, and he's fine.
And he's working on a game right now. I don't know why I just forgot that he lived. Okay, anyway.
He's the programmer who lived.
But taking it back to Sims. So a total throwback for you guys. I love this story. Have we talked about this on the podcast? I'm not sure. But when he started doing like The Sims, when that started launching, the game had been stammering in development since 1993, which is crazy. So Will Wright had the first idea for a simulation that would model human behavior, and not like Sim City, where it's above ground, like above just looking over a neighborhood, but actually like from the game point of view, like
from the eyeballs of the sim.
Yeah, and like literally with the first person that we just got, like it's literally the eyeballs of the sim.
It's creepy.
Yeah, which is like, why didn't they come up with that sooner? Anyway,
because it's creepy.
So, basically, how Sims kind of made its mark and how it gained popularity. So Maxis was doing its thing, and they were developing The Sims, and it was just kind of stalling out, wasn't really going anywhere. Then EA, big giant EA, buys them. And so with EA, when they were talking about The Sims, it was like, we really don't want like same-sex relationships. Because Maxis had been like debating it, right? And EA's like, no, please God, don't do it. And it's like, which is fucked up. Anyway, so then a new employee, Patrick J. Barrett III, he comes in, just to kind of do The Sims, doing his thing. And his boss, I think his boss's name is Jamie. Yeah. So Jamie, his boss, is on vacation, so Barrett's just looking for something to do. So they give him an old code of the game, which originally was Maxis's code that had same-sex relationships in it. So Barrett picks up the code. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, it has same-sex relationships in it. So he develops that game thinking, that this is what we should do. So Barrett didn't realize it, and the boss didn't realize it, that it had been an old design, because when EA came in, they took out that same-sex relationship concept. So they're developing the game. Nobody knows that basically one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Barrett didn't know that he wasn't supposed to make it gay relationships, and EA thought that they had taken out the gay relationships. So that's like really interesting. I know. So it's kind of like Kismet, I think, like it was meant to be. So then they all, EA-Maxis, whatever, they go to E3. It's like a super popular video game conference. They announce new games. So they go to E3 and they're kind of showing off The Sims and, oh, this is a new concept and blah, blah, blah. And then in the background, while they're showing this, it was like a wedding while they were playing the game. 2 female Sims attending the wedding just began kissing. And everyone just like, what? Like I totally imagine like at E3, because it's so busy, everyone just stops and they're like,
Like it's like
yeah, like record
and all like
scratch,
the sounds go down, and like everybody just like whips their head towards the screen, like
this is amazing. And so
and then
everyone's
you have like a half and half, like this is amazing, and what did I just see? And then you have like Will Wright, like what the fuck?
yeah. And so it's just like, so it just totally changes everything. Now it's like, oh, EA is being progressive. EA is thinking outside the box. EA is making these kinds of, hard and fast decisions, blah, blah, blah. And Maxis and The Sims is going to be this amazing thing. Now it got all this like attention. And so then they got the game going.
EA was like, yeah, that's what we wanted all along. We totally were backing this from the beginning. We were totally behind this. Yeah, totally. This was us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now like now in The Sims, it's like very progressive, known for, really testing the boundaries or whatever you want to call it, being really on the front line. And they still implement this type of code, which I really like. Basically, all Sims are like bisexual. And it depends on their interaction in the game as to if they're gay or straight or just remain bisexual or don't like anybody. Because I've had that, where I've had Sims that do not want to be romantic with anyone, who don't even have like that flirty trait. That's a thing in the Sims. So I think it's really interesting. I really like that. And I like that they code that. Anyway, yeah. So I thought it was really important to mention that. So technically, Sims has been, inclusive and stuff like that since day one. Whether or not it was planned inclusivity, is debatable. But that's the reputation that they have now, which is important.
Ooh. There's something interesting. So, at the very beginning, after SimCity and like SimCity and Earth and SimAnt and blah 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 blah, he pitched The Sims to Maxis, right? Which Maxis is kind of his baby. Like he's like, hey, let's do The Sims, like a game, and Maxis was like, don't you just want to do like SimCity 2000? Like, let's just do more of what we know. And he's like, but it's going to be super sweet, guys. And they're like, stay in your lane, Will. Stay in your lane. And then EA comes along and they're like, we gonna eat you. Ha! So then they that's how companies get taken over, by the way. They get eaten. That's how that works. Visuals. So then
I did mention the Sarlacc pit.
So then Will's like, hey, EA, which stands for Electronic Arts, by the way. If y'all know what EA stands for, it's Electronic Arts. So he's like, hi guys, creator of Maxis over here, how's it going? I have a new idea for a game. It's called The Sims. It's gonna be sweet. And Maxis is like, okay. EA's like, this sounds like a plan. Plans. And but they're like, this still is risky. This could be shitty. This could be great. We don't know. So we're only going to give you like a handful of copies. So we're going to make it, but we're going to make like 4. Go. And so, but with that handful of copies that was made, it became one of the most popular video games of all time. And then Will Wright was like, boom, told you. So, but it just makes me laugh because like his initial company that he made, they were like, we good, we Gucci, we don't need this in our life.
It's so funny how like, not only how like ahead of his time that Will Wright was, but all the obstacles that he had to really fight for this game. So you knew that he like really believed in it, which is, really nice to hear. Like, as especially nowadays in today's culture, like video games are coming out all the time, and a lot of them, may not be the best thought out, or maybe are kind of like a little bit of a cash grab, just trying to come up with new ideas to not even new ideas, but just rehashing the same concept that other people made popular, you know, and like trying to get
or they come out like if they are popular and they try to like again, that's one of the things I love about The Sims, not to cut you off, but like they come out each time with each expansion or each new incarnation of it, 1, 2, 3, and it's always better. They try to improve upon, and they may leave some things out, i.e. lore in Sims 4, but they try to improve upon instead of just like giving you a half-assed game. Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda, fucking you.
Or take 10 years for the sequel to come out, which, I mean, that's not...
Dragon Age Inquisition.
I have feelings. I have feelings. But,
sorry, I'm just going to keep popping endings that make me salty.
I'm sure there's tons of reasons.
I think that's for a whole different episode, because if we're going to...
Yeah, there's like tons of reasons why, you know, these games take so long to come out or aren't done well. But I like that the passion behind this game, was there. You know, he really, really fought for this game. The people like Patrick J. Barrett, the third coming in, and he was a gay man too. And so him taking that code and seeing that it was, you know, same-sex relationship and not changing it, I think that was another thing that influenced him, because he thought, oh, cool, I'm represented in this game. So all these little things to make this game happen, I think what makes it so special, and why so many people have been playing it for so long, because of these little special moments.
It's a game where you can see yourself in it.
Yeah.
No matter what yourself is, you know, you want to make yourself as a gay man or a bisexual man or a gay black man or, you know, whatever you want to be. I don't know why you have to be a man. I'm not a man. But, you know, if you want to make yourself that way, you can, and no one and none of the other Sims in the game are going to look at you sideways because you're walking out on the street, you know, and you like make out with your dude.
Nobody's going to come and murder you because you're wearing a thong. Like, no, we don't. Sims, they don't care about that, you know.
That's one of the great things about The Sims. Like, you can simulate these sort of like everyday scenarios, but there's no judgment there. Nobody is going to judge you for anything you do or wear or who you kiss or who you don't kiss, or, you know, there's absolutely
they're only going to judge you if you kiss if you kiss somebody
as they should,
somebody else. And then they're going to judge you hard, and then they're going to smack you, and then they get that weird fight with the cloud behind it.
Fight. Oh, that old time slap animation is still hilarious.
It's so great because they like jump into the into the cloud. It has a little
flying out of the cloud, or
it has little exclamation points above it, like
yeah. So it's nice. And then also, like with Sims, you know, I don't really classify myself as like a gamer person. I like playing video games, but I'm not like playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever. Like I'm not playing the new games that they
That's not the definition of gamer. Though. Like if you play games, even if it's just a stupid mobile game, and you want to call yourself a gamer, then you're a gamer. You don't have to like play Call of Duty or some huge AAA title to, you know, be allowed to call yourself a gamer. And
well, yeah, I mean, I mostly play like the Switch and Sims. Like that's about it.
But if you want to call yourself a gamer, you're a gamer.
But
I also hate the term girl gamer. Bitch, I'm just a gamer. Exactly.
I know. I don't like that either. Like, why is being a girl a reference in me?
I'm not playing with my vagina. So, like, it doesn't matter.
It's true. But what I like is that The Sims is like something that, you know, the person who has no concept of video games is just like, oh, I played The Sims in high school, so I'm going to play it as an adult because it's fun. Like, have no concept of you know, EA or Maxis or any of these companies or Nintendo or nothing. They don't even have, like, a PlayStation or an Xbox. They just occasionally play The Sims because it's, like, something fun from their childhood. Like, the fact that Sims can be relevant to someone like that, and also, you know, really intense gamers. Like, Markiplier on YouTube has a whole Sims YouTube videos. It's like Markiplier, like he plays tons of different video games, is like one of the most popular video game players on YouTube, whatever, Let's Play people. And the fact that someone like him can also find Sims relevant, like at the same time, I think that's interesting. I think that's really cool.
Well, that's the,
And all thanks to Will.
yeah, William. He did this for us.
Will.
Because the thing is, like, this back in the day was such a revolutionary concept as well. It's like you can influence these tiny people to do basically whatever you want. That's something that hadn't really been seen, on a larger scale, yes, with SimCity, but on a smaller scale, that had never really been done before. Like, there had been, I think, like these, what do they call them again? These God games, like Peter Molyneux, who made Black and White and Fable. Like, these were kind of similar because it went like into especially with Fable, it's like the duality and the consciousness and good or evil, that the choice, but actually managing people's lives to the point where you're like, I'm going to just decide when you eat, when you sleep, when you poop. That had never been done before, and Will Wright did it.
It was a huge just opening up of simulation games. Like, simulation games have been around forever, but that one, like, Sims brought it into like the forefront. Like, this is, simulation game. Like, right now, if you go on your Origin and try to look, it's like simulation games, like it's a whole section, it's full of The Sims, but it's super cool, but it's a life. So like you have whole simulation games like sports games, stuff like that. Yeah. And then you have like life simulation games, and like The Sims is one of the firsts, and it was, I mean,
well, it was the first for life, really. Like,
for life, yeah, one of the first ones that people like. Yeah. For one of the first ones that people like, actually, like, that blew up. Like, you have little ones every now and then, like, that pop around, but it was one of the first ones that like blew up and became something huge that wasn't like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, I know there's tons of amazing indie developers that develop these amazing games that do kind of play off of life situations or metaphors and all this stuff and how to interact with people, and you're playing as a first person character, all that stuff. But The Sims is like, I don't know if it's just because it's been around for so long and that's why it's just on another level. I don't know, but like, I feel like The Sims is like one of the most popular ones, if not the most popular one. And it's been around
forever.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because there are tons of great indie games that are these kind of life simulations, or these new concept games that are coming out, like What Remains of Edith Finch, which are more like movie games, like they're just like avenues for storytelling. Yeah. Like, I just played Virginia last night. It's not at all like The Sims, it's like a movie basically, but you're just controlling the character.
That's why I always get angry when people, claim that video games aren't art or aren't a medium. Something. So they're just games. Like, no, it's a new medium. No. It's a new form of art. It's a new way of telling stories or showing stories. It's another way of like really getting into a story and living a story. Like, you can read a book and just picture everything in your mind, and now you can play a video game and make choices that make the story go a completely different way, and you have control over that. It's something that you can't do in a book, unless it's choose your own adventure thing, but you can't do that in a book, or you can't do that in a movie, but in a video game you can. Like, it's a whole new avenue, and it's amazing. Games are amazing, and they are so art.
It is. Yes, they are, and especially these like walking movie games that come out. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing visual storytelling. And the fact that, okay, so like, all the people are like, oh, video games rot your brain, video games, blah, blah, blah. That is 100% not true. One, because they've done studies that show it. But two, if video games
She's like, one, there are scientists behind this.
I've done so many papers about video games in college, you don't even know. But like, one, like, if video games really just made us stupid, all the video games nowadays, because it's been, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever, since we've been making video games. If that was true, video games would just be us flying around in the sky. There'd be no challenge. There'd be no hardness to it because we'd all be too stupid to play. But video games are way more complex, intense, like puzzles. Like they're so crazy. Like there's games where we start playing, we can't even finish them.
Yep.
We're like, what's happening? Like I'm too stupid to play this.
There's there's 3 sections in Dragon Age Inquisition. Sorry, it's my favorite game. There's one where it's you have to basically trace the stars in the sky to form a fucking pattern.
Those what do you called? Those Astrarians, the fucking Astrarians.
They're so hard. And then there's a whole section, like you don't have to do those, but there's a whole part of the game that's part of the main storyline where it's nothing but freaking like Indiana Jones style puzzles.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And like it took me and my roommate putting our brains together trying to what if you stand over here and then you do this and it was
oh god, those are the worst.
Yes, God, those were and like, but they make you think so hard and like okay.
And not just like think on an intellectual level, like I have to solve this puzzle, but also like on an emotional level, like you're confronted with choices, and
kill the chargers.
Like, do I help the village or do I go and slay the dragon? Like if you help the village, maybe the dragon will destroy another village. But if you kill the dragon, then that other village will be safe, but the first village will be gone. And it's like you really have to think about the consequences of your actions in most of these games. And like I think it kind of started with Fable, where it was like very clear, the good and evil decisions. It was very black and white. But now that's evolving, and now like in Dragon Age,
it's shades of gray.
Some of those choices that you make, you're just like, whatever I do, it's gonna suck either way. So it's just I have to pick the lesser of the two evils.
So, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, or games like Detroit Become Human. That's just the newest one out of many games like that, like L.A. Noire. But it's the game changes depending on what choices you make and the person you want to be. So, yeah, it's just, video games.
So SimCity actually did this way back in the day. So a lot of urban and transit planners and architects and government officials and stuff like that, they use SimCity. It was their first taste of running a city. Mm-hmm. Like, it was the first time they realized that neighborhoods and towns and cities were things that were planned, and that was someone's job to decide. So that game opened up certain people's minds, and they became architects and activists and government officials and stuff like that. Like, it popularized the whole genre. It shows you how a video game can influence your future career. Not just, I'm going to be a game developer, but I'm going to be a freaking urban and transit planner. I'm going to be an architect. Like, have you seen things that people build in The Sims?
Amazing.
Like, and that is done exactly kind of how you would do it if you were making plans, to build an actual home. Like, you have people who, like, I really got into interior design because of The Sims. Like, I was like, this is so cool. Like, I would love to, like, stage homes. I think that'd be so much fun, but I don't have the money for that because I can't stage my own home because you're going to be broke. But it's one of those things where, like, these games expanded your mind. SimCity and, SimCity 2000 and then The Sims in general, like, expanded your mind to make you so if you are from BFE, Texas, and you don't understand, you think that all that you can do with your life is what everybody else does with their life. I'm going to get up, I'm going to go work at the factory, and I'm going to go home, and then, I'm going to go to school, finish high school, work at the factory until I die. Not that that's a bad career path, but you don't realize there's other avenues for you to do. Then you get this game, and this game shows you that you can maybe do this. This is something that you also good at. Maybe you can go to school for that. Maybe you can, you know what I mean? Like, it broadened the horizons of so many people who may not have had that ability, or may not have had that in their everyday life normally. Yeah. So I credit so much to the fact that, this man made a game, which if you look at it now, it looks real. It's a real shitty looking game because it's, from 1989, but it doesn't hold up.
Nope. But it can't even be played on most computers now.
No, they're like, what the fuck is this? But he made a game, and he thought of something that has literally been around. The idea and concept of this game has spawned for 30 years. This is 30 years of inspiring people, and I'm not trying to gas up Will Wright because he could be a total trash human for all I know, like in his own personal life, but in his professional life, professionally, Will Wright opened a lot of doors. So I think that's really cool, and they pay so much like homage to him in The Sims. Like, he is Easter eggs through all of Sims 1 and 2. Like, he just pops up. Yep. Like, he's actually a person in the neighborhood. In, I do believe, Sims 1, like you see him in you'll see him in the neighborhood. Like, he's actual like character. He like hangs out with the newbies.
And I have mentioned
like,
this before when we were talking about, I can't remember what exactly we were talking about. I think we were talking about the history of The Sims. We were talking about Sims 1 and 2. But in The Sims Making Magic, if you if you got a beanstalk growing in your garden and it got way tall, you could climb up it and you would come into this sort of like cloud place, and there'd be a sleeping giant Will Wright there hugging a can of beans, and you could just like take magic beans from him, and if you clicked on him, you got a little pop-up that popped up and said, thank you for playing The Sims, which is really cute. I mean, I always loved it.
Oh, yeah.
That is, and like they have like in Pleasant View and Sunset Valley, and then downtown in The Sims Hot Date, they have a street named Right Way. Yep. And, there's a dollhouse named after him in Sims 1 and 2. Like, it's one of those things where I think about it, and it's like you leave your mark on the world, and no matter what, as long as these games are able to be played, you're able to live on. A piece of you, like a Horcrux without, the killing of things. A piece of you is like forever in something. It's a good Horcrux. Is there other things that is a good Horcrux? I don't think so. You don't have to kill somebody to get one of those. Like,
you do. It's not great. But it's nice. He was instrumental. And like my favorite one, and like the one I always think of whenever we like talk about Will Wright or whatever, is in Strangetown. In that like crash UFO landing site, there's all these like walks, really? There's all these rocks around it, and one of the rocks, and if I remember correctly, it's actually a rock you can place in like the neighborhood building mode or whatever, but it's this little rock of like Will Wright's face. Right. Like, it's just his head.
That is the thing.
His little glasses. Yep.
And that's creepy.
Yeah, it's a giant Will Wright head. But that's cool. He deserves it. He was instrumental. And it's kind of stinks. So I'm assuming that he left for Sims 3 then, because he's not in Sims 3 at all.
He actually left. He left after Sims 2 because he wasn't super involved with he wasn't directly involved with the development of Sims 2 or later games, but he was still at least with the company then. But then he left in April of 2009. He left EA to go start up an EA-backed think tank where then now Maxis' general manager is a chick. Hey, Lucy. I bet she don't play video games with her vagina either. Just saying. She's good. She's like, I can play with my hands. These boobs mean nothing. I'm still a badass. Anyway, I'm sorry. I get really annoyed by people who are like, "Oh, you're a girl. You must play those like dress up games or something. You don't know how to play." Then I shoot you in the face with my shotgun on Borderlands because fuck. Sorry, I get like real annoyed. The minute you open your mouth and you really realize you're a girl and you're playing online, you start getting like either trash talked or them hitting on you. And I'm like, how about you either help me kill this boss or I'll just kill you repeatedly. I don't mind.
I know, it's so annoying.
But yeah, so he also Will Wright now. Well, I don't know if he's still there, but in 2011, he actually went to the board of directors for Linden Lab, who creates Second Life, which is another life simulation game, but it's online based and it's real creepy. Yep. But if you play it, knock yourself out. But it weirds me out
for some reason. I don't know why. I have been quite vocal about the fact that I do not want to procreate. But for some reason, when I go to the Sims resource, all I get are Second Life ads. and they're all of pregnant ladies.
What?
Like, why? Why do you do this to me, internet? I trusted you. Stop.
I trusted you. But yeah, so that's what, and then you can also take a master class from him about like game design, stuff like that. And he has a TED talk that you can listen to as well. It's pretty interesting. We'll put a link in so you can look if you want to listen to the TED talk that he did.
I might actually, because I've never heard him speak.
Especially for like you know developers out there. I mean, not me because I can't even build a house, let alone develop a code. But he, the big thing about him was like he invented a genre of a game that had nothing to do with winning or shooting. You can't win in The Sims. There's no end.
No.
Also, I mean, unless you download the extreme violence mod, you're not really killing anybody either. Like, there's no shooting. There's no end game. There's no
debatable.
Well, I mean, killing them like
well, like
guns.
You can kill your Sims, but Sim A can't kill Sim B.
Right. Like, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it was a breakthrough because it wasn't something that was also a lot of games were geared towards girls or boys. Well, mostly boys, but they were very gender like separate.
Yeah.
And The Sims was a game that was like, you won't play? Let's play.
The Sims as a whole was very inclusive as well, because that's why they developed Simlish, the Sims language, because they were like, oh, maybe we'll use Portuguese or German, but then they were like, but other people are going to be playing this, and they didn't want to include like a language that one part of the population would understand, but nobody else would. So they went on and developed Simlish, and I think it has like bits and pieces of like all like a bunch of different languages because they wanted to be able to, they wanted a language that could like really connect with people on an emotional level instead of verbal. And that's why they especially went ahead and developed this language, which is amazing, by the way. Anyone who makes a new language, like, damn. Just damn.
I know. That's
language is hard.
We also did Spore, guys.
Don't let me talk about Spore. God, no.
Let's just talk for a minute by the fact that Will Wright
William
did Spore. Like, Spore, if you guys don't know what Spore is, I'm going to defer to Ava because she sounds like she's having a moment in the corner.
Okay,
so we're going to go, Ava, tell us about Spore.
Spore. So basically when The Sims was SimCity on like macro level, but Spore was on a micro level. Because you basically followed the pattern of evolution. Because you started as this tiny little cell, and you just have to like swim around in the what do you call it again? The primal pool or whatever, and just munch your way to getting legs and lungs, and then you just climb out of the pool, and all of a sudden you're on the land, and then you have to go through prehistoric times, and there's tribes involved, and you have to collect resources, and then all of a sudden you're advanced, and you unlock space travel, and I can't really explain this game to a point where you would say, oh, I understand exactly what's going on here. All I can say is you have to play it because the concept of it is amazing. So you basically you evolve. That's what you do. And I'm not proud of this, but the day that I bought it, I started playing at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I took a break around 6 p.m. to have some food. Started playing again, looked up on my clock and went, oh, it's 9:30 p.m. I'm just going to play for another half an hour, hour and a half, and I'm going to go to bed. And then I looked up at my clock again, and it was 2 a.m. That game takes moments of your life, man.
Definitely. Well, because it's so interactive. Like you have to evolve this like species, because you not only have to like evolve yourself, but you have to make sure that you're defeating the other tribes and like changing yourself to like adapt to the world that you're living in. I don't know. It's a cool concept for sure.
It was great, and I loved it. And then you're zooming around space, the concept of spaceship. My race was called Romulans, and I didn't know where I got that, but I thought it sounded cool. And then years later, I was like, "Oh, Star Trek." That was the thing.
So that's what he did after The Sims, but now from what we know, he's working on a game called Proxy, which I remember hearing about this years ago. I don't know. But it's a mobile game. It's described as a simulation of artificial intelligence based on your memories and interaction with the game.
Which sounds creepy, guys.
So, yeah. So what I don't understand is like, is it actually your personal memories and what you are thinking putting into this like AI, this
God,
proxy?
I hope not. That's terrifying.
Or is it just
Right?
yeah, like, or is it just you're made up, like while you're playing the game you see a red bus and a car, and then later in the game you see a red bus and a car, you know, like
I'm hoping
that's what
it's
I
that
don't
one because
know,
my
like,
memories are great and some of them are shitty. So let's not put those in a video game, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, and would you have control over which memories you put into the game? Like, I mean, sure, I want this memory of the time that I
like,
won the relay
how
race
are
at
these-
the, I don't know, county fair or whatever. Oh, but shit, I accidentally thought about this one time that I walked straight into a plate glass door in front of the guy that I have a crush on. Oh no, can we not? Abort.
That happened to me. It was unfortunate.
I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I just laid on the floor, and then I was like, if I just lay here, maybe he won't realize that this happened. And he walked by, he's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "I'm just gonna lay here and act like I don't hear you." Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, so it was announced in San Francisco in 2018. I feel like that was so much
San
longer
Fran?
ago that I heard about this game. But anyway, but yeah, so it's been in development, we can assume, since 2018. So who knows what'll come out. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty wild concept, so they probably need a while to like figure this out. But you know what? It is exactly what we'd expect from a character like Will Wright. You know, he broke the boundaries with the simulation game, and now he's going into the AI business. You know, that's the future of video games, I'm assuming. You know?
That's Mr. Will Wright, guys. We've been going on about him for about an hour, which, I mean, is a lot about one guy that we don't know.
Well, and also, we wanted to talk about his career. We don't know him as a person. We don't know.
We're talking about what he's done, not who he is.
Yep.
Separate.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a wonderful person. We have no clue. We don't know who he is.
Not that he's a garbage human. I don't know him, Will. But if you want to come say hello, Will, that's fine. I'd like Carl to come first, but, you know, then you can come.
I know you created Sims and all, Will, but we need Carl first.
Super great about you. Know that you did all this life, but I would like Carl to come. Then you can hang out after. Or you guys come together, but just Carl. If you're going to ask
I'm still rooting for Varl as your portmanteau, just so you know.
Varl. So if you guys could ever think of a nice, what's it like, with a celebrity couple name or whatever for Carl and I, Varl's been tossed around. Carlity has been tossed around as well. If you can think of one as well, or if you just know Carl, like. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
I like how every episode turns into Vanity just wanting to meet Carl.
One day, we're gonna be, man. Look, this is going to be one of those situations where years from now, someone is going to find our podcast and is going to go, "Oh, I'm going to start listening to this," and they're going to hear us talking about Carl. And one day, Carl will be here. Carl will be here. I want this to happen so bad.
Girl, same.
And then it's going to be, we remember back in the time when they wished they could meet Carl, and then they did, and it was great. It's going to be one of those things. You know it.
And then Vanity and Carl got married and had a baby. Remember that time I was just a young girl who didn't understand. Married.
Carl is the Paul Holes to our Georgia and Karen, pretty much.
Pretty much.
We just want to meet him and
oh my
want him
god.
to be our friend.
Oh my god.
Carl is my Paul Holes.
He is the Paul Holes. Oh god, that's kind of wrong. Anyway, wrapping up the episode, we have awesome
we
shout-outs.
do.
Let's shout
people out. We have my favorite is not my favorite, it's just a thing. Alex H on Facebook was like, okay, the last time this was posted, so if you're in a Sims group on Facebook of any point in time, one of us is in it, we're posting our show when we release an episode.
Oh yeah.
So this is in one of the groups, and she's like, last time this was posted in a group, I thought, why not check it out? I've been binging it for the last 2 days at work. I'm really sad I'm going to run out of episodes today. absolutely love it, and it's awakened my passion for the game again. Hearts, thanks for sharing it here. You're welcome, Alex. Don't worry, we'll never stop. Don't you worry, girl.
So nice. And then Megan.
Oh my gosh, say that again.
Facebook,
Say her name again. It's Megan. It's so cute.
Oh, Megan.
It's Megan.
Megan?
Megan. I know, it's just the way you say it. It's adorable. Go ahead.
Sorry, Megan. Okay, so Megan also posted on a Sims Facebook group, and she said, "So, ladies of Under the Plumbob, bravo! I've listened to the first 2 episodes and I love it. Perfect binging material for in between my favorite murder episodes."
That's a huge compliment.
Which, like, the fact that you're even like putting us in the same sentence as my favorite murder, like, we're not on that level at all. Like, we're not professional in any way whatsoever. But we really appreciate it.
I'm using whoopsie as a way to get off our tangents, so I don't fully think that we're on that level, but okay.
Nope, thing now.
Taking it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're taking it. We're binging episodes between my favorite murder.
Mm-hmm.
We've stolen that. That's our thing.
It's our tagline.
Perfect to watch in between my favorite murder.
Yeah, so thanks for leaving this one to the non-English speaker here, because I have no idea how to pronounce this. Is it
okay? I will try it, and then you can read it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with it's McKelleen. McKelleen. If we said this wrong,
yeah, I would say Micheline, but that's because that's kind of like a name.
Oh,
like the Michelin Man?
No.
This is like
Michaelin. This was an Instagram comment. Honey, my name is Vanity with an I, so I get Vanity and Vanata and Vanity and Vanita a lot, so I get it, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name.
So sorry if I butcher your name, but I do appreciate. We all appreciate your message.
We do.
She just wanted to let you know how much I love the podcast. I just caught up this morning. I started at the end of last week and binged it all at work. I'm super upset I finished so quick, but I couldn't stop listening. So good. I've been playing The Sims for 19 years, and you guys remind me of so many amazing things I've forgotten about. Can't wait for the next episode. Girl, don't worry. We got you. Next episode's coming.
Thank you, girl. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We had heart too.
These nice comments. Yeah. It's so nice.
You can't see, but I'm making like the finger heart thing.
Oh yeah, the little hand hearts I'm doing it too. We're giving you hand hearts.
Yeah.
Really though, like, this show would not be anything if you guys didn't listen. I mean, we would just be talking into the void, which I'm still kind of thinking that we're doing, just because it makes me less nervous. But you can. Oh, next episode, by the way, you're going to be hearing some things about. Llama is doing a build theme episode on renovating apartments, which. And then we are going to do a Strangerville review. We gave it some time, so everybody can kind of get. We don't want to do it too quickly, so that spoilers and shit. So we gave it some time, but there's gonna be a Strangerville review, and if you don't have it, don't worry, we'll put spoilers all over that fucking title. But if you, and I'll think of a cool way to do some spoilers. Maybe it'll be whoopsie. I don't know.
Yeah. And we do have a spoiler-free version available right now. And the Social Bunny episode for the non-spoiler version is called Welcome to Strangerville, Social Bunny episode number 7. So if you are like, nope, I don't want to know any spoilers, I don't want to know anything, but you still want to hear about Strangerville, you'll listen to that episode. Because that episode was made before Strangerville was officially launched.
Yeah. You can follow us on all the social medias. Please do. Please like and review and subscribe on all of your listening platforms so that other people can listen to us as well. That's how, between your word of mouth and us, posting our stuff everywhere, like you liking and subscribing gets us on lists, and I don't know what these lists are, but then we get on them, people are like, oh, a Sims podcast? What? And then they listen. So do that.
I do want to once again really encourage you to, rate and review and share us with the world, because the more people share this, the bigger our chances of getting a hold of Carl one day.
Guys, I didn't want to say it, but I mean, it's a thing.
This is the goal. 2019 goals.
I mean, stoves, horses, and Carl. I don't have my requests aren't very big, guys. I don't have.
I love how we're like the demanding team, like Team Mama and Team Cowplant, just talking, just making great content, and we're like, no, you guys are demanding things from
Look,
me.
that's great and all, but hashtag where my witch is at.
Where my witch is at.
I love it. That is so funny. Cool. Well, thanks so much for this is obviously a little bit of a different episode. We really didn't talk about gameplay too much. We really didn't even talk about Sims that much. Mostly just talked about video games and other companies. So hopefully you like this kind of, 2019, we're trying to do different things. We're trying to, change up the podcast game. So
basically we're trying to
the crazy hand motions I was doing.
I can imagine it. We're trying to, like, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you know what you're playing. You can appreciate it more and give you some backstory. I didn't know who the hell Will Wright was until about, a couple weeks ago. So hopefully we taught you some stuff and you learned some stuff. And side note, my niece, today is her 14th birthday. The day that we're recording is her 14th
Happy birthday, Vanity's niece.
So happy birthday, Asia.
Happy birthday,
that's it. That's all I'd say about that.
That's a lovely name.
I didn't do that part. I did her middle name. It's Corinne. That was me.
That's one of my favorite names.
I got it from a TV show called Strange Days at Blake Halsey High. The really smart black girl name was Corinne. So I was like, how about that one?
I'm just thinking of Corinne from Threadbanger, but that works too.
Anyway, so happy birthday, Asia. But also follow us on social media. Plumbobcast on Instagram.
The Instagram.
The Instagram. Plumbobcast on Instagram and Twitter. Plumbob Podcast on Reddit. Under the Plumbob Podcast on Facebook and Tumblr. Our website is undertheplumbob.com, where you can email us. You can see all of our social medias, our links on there as well. Basically, the one to remember is the website, undertheplumbob.com, because then you can get everything else from there. You can either email us directly, like at undertheplumbobpodcast@gmail.com, or you can do the contact form on the website, and they'll go to our email as well. So whichever you prefer.
And also, we are on Twitch and YouTube. I did finish up my Strangerville Let's Play on Twitch, so that's no longer live on Twitch, but we are putting all of those episodes on YouTube. So if you go to Plumbob Podcast on YouTube, you'll see our little logo with the little microphone and the little sim Plumbob, and you'll see we have a couple of the episodes posted, but we post every Friday when we post a YouTube video, so you can go on there and go on Friday and check out what video we posted. But the Strangerville Let's Play is going to be pretty long, I imagine. Those Twitch streams were like an hour long each, or like more than an hour long, and I'm cutting them down to like 20-minute videos. So yeah, they're going to be quite a few
Make
videos.
sure you subscribe. You get the little notification whenever we post one. So just subscribe, guys. Subscribe it. Like it.
Subscribe and hit that bell. Isn't that how they do it?
Hit that bell, Schmale.
Oh yeah. What platform are we on?
That was YouTube.
Yeah.
Now we're YouTube. But yeah, YouTube is super slowly rolling out. We are people with full-time jobs and lives.
Yeah.
So
full-time jobs and a 3-hour commute.
Girl, that's horrible. I have a 5-minute commute on my feet. Anyway, writing research credits. Guys, Roxy, Nicole, Melissa, you guys were bomb diggity at, like, getting...
Yep, the real MVPs.
I'm doing that weird, that gif of that black girl doing the, the crying face, but, like, doing the fist thing, real MVP. I'm doing that right now, but you can't tell. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you to Sims. All of our website came from the Sims fandom and the TED Talk and stuff like that. So thanks to the Sims fandom, whoever runs that guy. Thanks to Carl. He didn't do anything, but whatever. And thanks to you guys. Thanks,
Oh, and
guys.
also thanks to the New Yorker from that Game Master.
The New Yorker
article. Yeah, that was really nice. It's a great read. I recommend it.
And we're gonna post a link to like that YouTube commercial that Ava's talking about with the Mac. We're gonna have a link for that. We'll have the link for the New Yorker article. We'll have the TED Talk link. If you want to see these things, there, we're gonna link them in so you can be like, what the hell are they talking about? We got visuals. So thanks for that. And I think I have to go to a birthday party, so we're gonna go back to the real world now.
I think we're going back to the real world. So thanks.
I mean, I'm gonna get cake, so my real world's pretty sweet.
You get cake. I have to go to work soon.
Ew. All right, guys. Until the next episode. Bye.
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 Badish. Dag.
I bet she don't play video games with her vagina either. Just saying. She's good. She's like, I can play with my hands. These boobs mean nothing.